Good evening, class. This is Professor Jeff. Welcome back. This will be lesson 13 on business planning and marketing. So we're going to cover the introduction in this video, which takes us up to a pretty interesting story from when I worked at a major theme park. And then in the next video, we'll cover the principles and some application. So let's first review the professional standard of care. This is really important. This is something we've talked about in some of the other videos. I really want to make sure that you memorize the definition, and the professional standard of care is what is reasonably expected by a professional in their discipline, as would be performed by other professionals under the same or similar circumstances with the same level of training and experience in the same geographical location. Now, how are we going to memorize this? Well, I have a cute little way of memorizing it. Think of an orange globe that we call citrix, kind of a citrusy geo, but think of like the orange globe. And the word citrix geo has all the four components of what professional standard of care is. What's reasonably expected of professionals in similar circumstances, training, experience, and geography. Citrix geo. So remember it that way. Citrix geo. Circumstances, training, experience, and geographical location. So let's first talk about the big picture of planning. Why do we plan? Well, first of all, how many of you have a plan for what you hope to accomplish either in your career or other life ambitions? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now? And then are those plans always followed as written? Now, I would encourage you to, go ahead and set up plans. It's kind of how you dream and you pursue those dreams. But do they always go as written? The answer is no. So we want to keep on planning. And it's all about the process. As Winston Churchill said, he who fails to plan is planning to fail. Now, what are the benefits of planning? There are many. And this is something you'll want to really remember for the final. It allows us to execute our strategy and achieve our goals. That's first and foremost. Targeting objectives and how to obtain them. Even pausing here at the company I work at, we annually go through goals, writing them down and being brief but to the point. And our CEO says the reason why we write them down is because when we write them down, we can accomplish them. It helps us prepare for the unexpected. It goes even into an emergency planning level. So even COVID-19 is something that you can plan around if we have that kind of foresight in our planning. And it develops and implements a culture within our organization when we have that kind of preparedness. There's a working together for how we accomplish those things. So let me talk about when I worked for this major theme park. It was a global presence. It was the Disney Cruise Line. And if you did a Wikipedia research on the history of the Disney Cruise Line, we'll find that the Disney Magic's first cruise was postponed twice, which was originally scheduled for March 1998, while the Disney Wonder was scheduled for December 1998. On July 30th, the first voyage of Magic, the Disney Cruise Line, was operational. Now, we read that, we don't even think about what that means, but there's a 3-month problem there, or 4 months, depending on if it's early March or late March. And what was that all about? Well, I was working at the company at the time, and there were some major issues with the project management that was occurring at that time, and the cruise line was not on schedule. The project manager at that time had reported, yes, things were going according to plan, but when the executives realized that this first cruise line was not on schedule, they called for an all hands on deck. They pulled every executive from all over the corporation, shipped them to Italy, and said, you're going to figure out how to get this thing delivered as quickly and as efficiently as possible, because we've been taking in reservations and getting families set up with some fantastic vacations. And still, with all that effort, it still suffered a 3 to 4 month delay. Why does that happen? Well, if we're not planning and preparing, and in this case, there was lots of planning and preparing, but the reporting wasn't working well. And this is why we want to keep things in context with what we're learning, understand the content that we're being given, and make sure that you collaborate with others for feedback. And that's it for our introduction. We're now going to move into the next video.